Remember this game, people? Well, I sure do, because I actually own it. But should you remember this game? Well, that's up to you. So I'm going to continue off my thoughts on this game, and I also do feel like the flaws of this game is actually a good thing. Keep watching it and you will see why. So I'll talk about the little co-op mode it has, Legends of Wasteland, and I really like this mode. It feels like traditional id Software first-person shooter gameplay. When I was playing it alone, it almost felt like Quake 2 to me, and that's a great sign, really. Even though it's really simple and it's missing a lot of the cool stuff from the single-player campaign, like the whole idea of where you can build gadgets and all that cool stuff, I still think it's a nice bonus. You definitely have to play this mode with a buddy on Nightmare difficulty for the best experience. I never got to play the multiplayer for Rage, so I'm not going to talk much about it, but I will continue more on the co-op side. The maps are all recycled from the campaign, well, somewhat. There's actually one map that is not recycled, and they are slightly adjusted in a way. It's hard to explain it. You really have to play it to really understand what I'm trying to say, but I really like it. It's not just shoot everything and move to the next area. There are objectives and there's a variety of it too. So I think it really nailed the co-op down, but it's really like a bonus add-on more than, you know, a Grand Slam package. When I think about it, it does seem like it's reminiscent to Doom 3's co-op mode from the Xbox version, but they fleshed it out even more. So I like this mode a lot, and I hope to see it return for Rage 2. Now, the Scorchers DLC, and I can't believe it actually released a DLC for this game a year later. Let me tell you, it's a solid add-on, and I think it was totally worth it for the $5 I spent. The maps are actually some of the best that the game has to offer, and it really fixes some of the problems I had with the original game. It's challenging, and it really does make you rethink the way you play this game. The new Ultra Nightmare difficulty, it isn't much harder. It's kind of like going Ultra Violence from Doom to Ultra Violence Fast. It's just like a tiny bit more challenging. The only difference I've seen is you regen your health slower and certain items are more expensive, but it's not really a big deal. Personally, I think it is more funner to play it on the skill level because I do feel like the med kits are now more important, because waiting for like 7 to 9 seconds to regen your health gets annoying. But overall, the experience is so much more stimulating than what the original Rage did. Once you get to the last part of the last level, that's where everything starts to get intense. I want to explain more about the maps in this add-on. I think it really, you know, helped me figure out what Rage is trying to be, because I felt like, you know, it was trying to be this modern styled first-person shooter with some old-school elements, and then you got the whole RPG stuff. I believe Rage is really more of an FPS game now, because a lot of these levels were so good, and I'm sad that the original game just didn't have that quality, because in the later levels they get kind of meh, and there wasn't much memorable moments, while the moments in this game, in this add-on, are actually more memorable than, you know, the moments from the original game. There was a part where you get ambushed by a bunch of Scorchers and you can't get out, and they swarm you pretty crazily. It's easily one of the most intense fights of what this game has to offer. Moments like, you know, those, it really makes you feel like Rage needed a better treatment. Now, for the nail gun, the primary mode, like the fully auto mode, it's kind of okay. It really does feel like another fully auto weapon, and I do feel like the fully autos in Rage are fine. They all have their purposes. You got one for close quarters, one for long range, and then one that has both of those qualities, but you only get access to it at the last level. Then you have the nail gun, which is its role is more close quarter friendly, since it has a lot of ammo and it's not that accurate, and I think the stopping power is kind of okay, but I do feel like it's trying to compete against the shotgun for very intense close fights, which it fails against it miserably. I hate how rather slow it reloads. I mean, it's not bad, but I prefer the AK-47 because it reloads so much quicker and it's fairly accurate. And when I really need to get into close quarters, I just pull out the shotgun, and like I said, the nail gun cannot beat the shotgun. So it's really not too usable, but it's not bad, so I guess I'm cool with it. I'm not really sure. Now for the ammo types, I love the rebar. This thing allows you to repick the ammo again depending on the enemy you kill, and it's just like a double barrel shotgun version of the crossbow. Every time you shoot it, it reloads, but the damage is extremely powerful. I also love the reloading animation too. It's easily one of my favorite ammo types. And then you have the railgun slugs, and what can I say, man, it's easily one of the best ammo in the game. Instant kill on the light units, but it's not great against heavy units. But then again, it has the ability to see enemies through walls, so yeah, man, that's really nice, and I personally love it. I don't really think there's anything wrong with it. Rage, it's far from being my favorite game from id, and it's not too well designed, but I do have faith in this series. Judging from the DLC, I think there is hope for this game to be as good as, you know, Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, all those type of games. I've always believed that having flaws is a good thing. Look at Doom 1, every enemy were kind of like a stronger variation of each other. The shotgunner was, you know, a stronger version of the pistol zombie, and then you have the spider mastermind, which is the stronger version of the shotgunner because they're all hit scan enemies. Same thing can be said for the, you know, projectile ones too. Then in Doom 2, you have the Archvile, which was very different from all the enemies in Doom 1, and you had the Pain Elemental. All of these enemies really forced the player to play it in a different style than they normally did in the original game. It basically improved the game if you think about it. I think Rage will have some neat improvements in the future. Maybe it will actually, you know, be more recognized of a first-person shooter than like the